Hey everyone, imagine this. You're scrolling TikTok, trading stocks, or video calling a friend halfway across the world, and suddenly, everything freezes. No internet. Not just slow gone. What if I told you that over 99% of all international data, like your emails, bank transactions, Netflix streams, travels through thin cables buried deep under the ocean? Yeah, not satellites beaming from space, but actual physical cables on the seafloor. These are the hidden arteries of our digital world, spanning over 1.6 million kilometers, enough to circle the Earth 40 times. There are nearly 600 active cables right now in 2025. But here's the big question. In an era of rising geopolitical tensions, are these undersea cables still the safest, fastest, and most reliable way to keep the world connected? Or are they a massive vulnerability waiting to be exploited? Today, we're diving deep, pun intended, into the secret world of the deep-sea internet. We'll look at how it works, the shocking vulnerabilities, real-world disruptions that have already happened, and what the future might hold. Stick around, because this could change how you think about the internet forever. First, let's talk about the sheer scale. These cables aren't some old-school tech, they're engineering marvels. Each one is about as thick as a garden hose, packed with hair-thin fiber-optic strands that carry light pulses at insane speeds. They use tricks like wavelength division multiplexing to send multiple colors of light down the same fiber, cramming in terabits of data per second. And repeaters every 50 to 100 kilometers boost the signal so it crosses oceans without fading. The result? Latencies as low as 100 to 150 milliseconds between continents. That's why your Zoom call feels instant. And capacity? It's exploding. The market's worth over $23 billion this year, projected to hit $37 billion by 2029. Tech giants like Google, Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft are pouring billions in. Over $13 billion planned just for 2025 to 2027. They're building faster, bigger cables, especially across the Pacific and Asia. So technically, these cables are unbeatable for speed and volume. Satellites? They can't touch this yet. But here's where it gets paradoxical. These super advanced cables are incredibly fragile. Every year, there are about 200 cable faults worldwide. That's almost one every other day. Most are accidental. Ship anchors snagging them in shallow waters, fishing trawlers dragging nets, earthquakes, or just natural wear. Certain spots are hotspots. The Red Sea, Strait of Malacca, English Channel, where cables bunch up and ships are everywhere. You might think, okay, accidents happen, but we have backups, right? Yeah, redundancy helps, but not always. Let's talk about some recent wake-up calls. In March 2024, 4 cables in the Red Sea were cut, probably by a ship's anchor, and it knocked out 25% of traffic between Asia, Europe, and Africa. Countries from India to the UAE felt major slowdowns. Then, in September 2025, it happened again in the same area. More cuts, more disruptions across the Middle East and Asia. And then there's the Baltic Sea in December 2024. A suspicious cargo ship, linked to Russia's Shadow Fleet, dragged its anchor for over 100 kilometers, severing cables connecting Nordic countries. Officials called it a mechanical failure, but come on, the pattern was too weird to be pure accident. This isn't new. Back in World War I, Britain cut Germany's cables to isolate them completely. Today, it's gray zone warfare. Cut a cable, blame it on an accident, and deny everything. Plausible deniability at its finest. And geopolitics is heating up. The U.S. worries about Chinese companies like HM Tech building cables with potential backdoors. Tech giants dominate ownership, but that concentrates power and risk. What if a major player decides to pull the plug during a crisis? So are these cables safe? Physically, no. But for speed? Absolutely unmatched. Light in fiber travels at about 200,000 kilometers per second. Satellites? Even low-Earth ones like Starlink add way more latency, hundreds of milliseconds, and way less capacity overall. They're great for remote areas or backups, but they can't replace cables for the backbone. Reliability? It's a trade-off. Cables go down often from accidents, but repairs are fast. Special ships with robots splice them back in days or weeks. Defenses are improving. Better route diversification, cables that sense vibrations to detect threats, end-to-end encryption, satellite monitoring of suspicious ships. But we can't watch every inch of 1.6 million kilometers. Looking ahead, the future is hybrid. Cables will stay king for speed and capacity. Demand from AI alone is exploding. But we'll layer in more satellites for resilience, terrestrial fibers where possible, and smarter monitoring. Geopolitics might splinter the network into Western and non-Western blocks, or push massive investments in redundancy. Governments need to treat these as critical infrastructure, develop international rules against sabotage, and build backups. Tech companies diversify routes, boost security. So, bottom line, the deep-sea internet is still the fastest and most capable backbone we've got. Nothing beats it for moving the world's data at scale. But safe? In this tense world, not as much as we'd like. Vulnerabilities are real, and incidents are proving it. We're heading toward a more resilient, hybrid system, but ignoring the risks could be disastrous. What do you think? Could satellites ever fully replace these cables? Or is a major disruption inevitable? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read them all. If this blew your mind, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into tech and geopolitics, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, stay connected, and see you in the next video.